We are going to a very large west wall location at the site of Kinsbach, west of Kaiserslautern and the large Ramstein air base. This is an area littered by bunkers, tunnels and Winkelturm. And from 1920 this location was used to extract sand. Now, in the course of the expansion of the West Wall, part of this site was confiscated by the German Wehrmacht in 1937. And in the years 37 to 1940, a large bunker system was now constructed inside the mountain on behalf of the army. This was done by the company Julius Berger AG from Berlin. The total construction cost was around 1.5 million Reichsmark. But initially the facility was only serving as a storage facility for anti-aircraft munitions. However, for 1944, the Oberkommando West allegedly moved into the facility. The eastern part of the tunnel system also served as an air raid shelter for the population during the last year of the war. Unfortunately, obviously, all documents of this site were destroyed so they would not fall into the hands of the enemy. In fact, I was only able to find this one photo from inside the tunnel system from the time of the war. In March 1945, General Patton's armored units advanced from the northwest from Landstuhl, which was occupied on March 19th.
And then the funniest thing happened. Somebody came by and said, well, here's the key to this huge underground bunker complex that you can just explore. Spend the night, he said. Stay out however long you want. Just don't take anything with you and try not to use the water. So what we're looking at here was originally bones built for the German army for one of the regiments, 1939. And after that, after the war ended, it was taken over by NATO and now used as one of the NATO underground communication centers. But all the bones are old German. Here's the ventilation, and I wonder if this is not new. But this was repurposed by NATO, which makes it interesting because it was one of the old, originally pre-war bunkers, and there's no year on this. It's really hard to say. All these things are new. Oh, very cool. And this is ventilation. And honestly, this looks period as well. I mean, NATO would take it over right after the war and done the refurbishments later. So we did not get in through. This is not the main entrance for what it was back in the day, and I am so hoping to find any graffiti, something. So, zigzag. And here you look at the floor, that's the old original, this is how the Germans would have done it at the time of the war with the access panels and water drainage. So that looks period. I mean, all the electronics and everything else would have been pulled out and new. What the Cold War ended officially in early 90s. So it still has been abandoned. Ooh, here's the kitchen. Since, wow, 30 years. Wow. And you see here, ventilation shaft runs above the false ceiling everywhere. And there's a staircase down. So we are looking at 2 floors. Woo! What did the young man say? 4,000 square meters? But yes, this was the kitchen. I know some of these ventilation pipes are original. I just know they are, although somewhat corroded. So this would be the mess hall. And oh, painting on the wall. Yay, we like those. With the little lamps and a little landscape. This is something I have seen from World War I and World War II. They would paint little murals on the walls to make it feel homely. I have no idea if the Americans or NATO would have done that or adopted that. But it could be period. I wonder if there's a weezer. This could very well be original. And somebody tried to scratch it off, and just for the hell of it, my great-grandmother had a puff like this. Control C.
I didn't skip this one very nice.
Serving hatch. Door with an X on. Get back to that. Wow, this is big. My camera's gonna get heavy. Woohoo! So this may or may not lead to...
The available secret blueprints of Corps Command Post Kinsbach from 1941 shows the facility with 3 tunnels. The main entrance, with entrance defenses in the guard room, as today's entrance 1, there were 4 large toilet facilities. The first tunnel on the left, a coke cellar, and a battery room where the emergency power generator stands today. After the campaign in France had not been decided on the West Wall, but by invading all of France, the German Wehrmacht was now in Paris, and this bunker was less needed as a command center. So it was therefore used, as amongst other things, as a storage facility, especially for anti-aircraft munitions. That changed after the Allies landed in France and began moving closer to Germany. In 1944, parts of the High Command West moved into this bunker, including 2 generals, one of them who lived in the rectory, the other in one of the buildings outside. At the same time, parts of the bunker, one with exit 4, was released to the public as civil defense bunker, since regular bombing raids on Kinsbach, also in connection with the Eisendelshof signal box, had been taking place for some time.
Fairly huge double doors in this complex, but nothing really seriously nuclear armored, as you would have imagined towards the Cold War. And we are not that far. We're at Kaiserslautern. We are in Kaiserslautern, so there's every reason to expect if there was a nuclear war, it would have impacted here, and that would have, the blast would at least have come fairly close to where this was, since it's sort of in the cul-de-sac. How's all the office space?
All the situation data could be automatically combined and displayed as an overall situation on the wall-filling screen in the Situation Room, and also transmitted to other departments. The display screen itself worked in a similar way to a modern data projector and was able to show friend and foe in different colors. Direct control and comms to interceptors, AA missiles, and up to 32 Nike batteries and 16 Hawk batteries could also be done from here. In 1972, The NATO Air Defense Ground Environment Network already had 84 connected and fixed mobile radar installations and CRCs, forming a kind of belt from the northern Norway to Turkey. And with the help of this network, it was possible to monitor and control the airspace along the Iron Curtain, almost with no gaps.
What's interesting is there's also an upstairs, which I did not know that there was. I'm going to try to go through this place in some sort of strategical way so we get to see everything. This would have been the medical, obviously. Also entirely new. What I'm taking away from the space I'm in is that all the walls are relatively new here. And that told me that there was a very large operational area. It looks like the space looks original. That's indeed the whole thing. The space is original, but then that NATO came in and set up communications and new false walls like these that would not have been everywhere. The other side. There's literally is a banister up here. So either was a staircase down to this location. I could see a large screen having had been placed here. But again, the space was original to World War II. So, heating thermostat. I just don't know if this heating is, I don't know if this is new. I just don't know if this is new piping or old. It's very hard to tell. Everything's been mixed a little bit. Whereas I don't see why they wouldn't have repurposed old equipment if they could. And moving in here in 50s, or even the 60s, it would have been fine. They would just have to grease it a bit and crank it back up again. So, let's try to go upstairs to the second level. Male, female. G3. Alright, smart people were in here. There's jokes there, don't go there. But you see the ceiling space rounded. This, I could believe this was part of the original space. The floor is solid cement. Male. I don't know what gave it away. Oh, there's the bathroom. Let's see how heavily reinforced this is. That's why it's so heavy up here. Let's see what's on the bottom floor. From here. This is I'm imagining utility space here. Oh, now I am coming out to what I'm imagining is the command room. Just taking a quick gander here. French military, I must add. Okay. Nortrag, Landshut. G3 admin. Talk. It is the talk. I know that because it says that on the wall here. FLA rockets, Nike Hawk batteries were directed from here. Wow. And you can sort of imagine the large world map up here. Situation room. No truck. This is a heavy door. I wonder if... Well, we're going to go with the floor being original. Step in. This is a fairly substantial door. We'll go with that. All right. All right. Back on the main floor again. Haven't even seen remotely. The biggest part of this. So, you really don't want to get lost, but I think you could. This is back in the day when you could smoke indoors.
One of the reasons why this had been chosen as a location was it was conveniently located near the railway lines in terms of transport, and the hill had already been cut through by the molding sand pit. So, with its tough molding sand, it offered an ideal condition for an underground command post. The planning of the plant itself began in 1936.
Looks like an old control panel. Made its way down here. No, it's a workstation. It's an old workstation. Probably made it here themselves. Calendar. Probably a bathroom. There's a carpet on here. That's nice. There's a bicycle in here as well. I could see why. Note, another thing made by Siemens. I wonder if Siemens were servicing their old, that's where we came from. If Siemens was servicing the old equipment from the war. What's that? This is, looks like it is the original entrance. No, this is a, yeah, this is where you would go in. There would be a guard sitting in here, and this is probably the main entrance. It is, this is the main entrance. There. And there's the gate. Would you check in, check your weapons? ID, what are you doing here? I hear myself ask myself. And this is the way out. The old guy that runs this place says, please don't take anything. And sad thing is, so many people, they would. But that's not how we play on lost battlefields. We leave history where it is, unless it's a Tiger tank, in which case it's coming home. Alright, so, no idea what way to go. This is so damn big. Just gonna go down here, see what we'll see. This is a fairly heavy door. Stores your fun things. And again, the utility tunnel I'm walking on looks very period. Well, don't know how period it is, but this is, imagine how many problems this sign would solve. Well, let's see what a shared bathroom looked like during the Cold War, shall we? It had a heating tank with a zipper. That's different. It had sinks, shocking. And it had toilet stalls, which is hardly as shocking. And novel idea for the military, for the urinals. There's a little plastic tarp in front of the door. Problem solved. I mean, we don't have to make everything complicated. And if you're trying to avoid nuclear war, do you really want things to be complicated? This is enormous. I don't even know where to start. I'm trying to hook the walls, circle my way in, and then there's this. Ooh, what have we here? I smell welding. Wow. I'm guessing this is another entrance that is just heavily shielded by this cement block in front of it. Yeah, and it's bricked up, and that makes perfect sense. So this is another entrance. There's this huge blast deflector in front of it, and then the steel doors behind it. Utility entrance. Well, there you go. That was in German. Probably also written post-war. Alright, so I'm following the outer entrance exits. I think there was 4. That's sloping. Wow. Wow. Man, this is... Now we're getting into the original bones from the Second World War. And this is clearly sloping down. Don't know why. Bathrooms. Utility technical. I wonder why I'm going down. There's a sub structure. There's another entrance, maybe. I think it almost has to be. Yes, and it's pretty bricked up. I think there's actually a house outside of here now. You see all the mosquitoes, that's why. This is another entrance. Alright. So that's fine. I'll go back up. Wonder why it's sloping this way.
The original facility essentially consisted of 3 west-east tunnels, each approximately 5 meters wide, 4 meters high, and around 140 meters long. In the area of the rear tunnels, there's also a 3-story area with floor areas of about 6 times 18 meters. The main tunnels are dome-shaped and lined with reinforced concrete, between a half to a full meter thick. The concrete reinforcement is insulated with an insert tar paper. In the reinforcement, there are obviously also drainage systems. The areas in the western part, such as the air-conditioned heating rooms that were expanded in the 1950s, have 2 floors. The front and the rear longitudinal tunnels A and C are each largely divided into a corridor with rooms arranged on the sides, while the central tunnels are divided into single rooms, which are accessed through the traversing tunnels. The north-facing porch in Area D was built in the 1960s, consisted of 2 earth-covered bomb-proof dome structures, the western one having 1 story and the eastern one having 3 stories. A connecting corridor runs between the domed structures, which ends in the traversing tunnel. 4 more tunnels, traversing each of 2 meters wide, leads to the exits.
Some 30 years ago since this was in use. Wow. I get a little wet in here. Get deeper in the mountain. More machinery over here. Wow. Makes sense. The engine room, machine room here is far away from where the command and action is. Seen that kind of grip before. Nice splattering in there. Well, they don't say Siemens, but at this point in time, I'm not sure that matters much. Oh, this just, holy shit, this just keeps going. Filter chamber, thermometer, mirror, what the hell? Filter chamber. for the engines, the machinery, and this is the kind of stuff we leave here, because that is part of history, and this is where history lives. And the amazing thing is, this place is in private hands with a guy who's not afraid to share. Really cool guy. If you want to spend the night here, not a problem. You just do that. You want to come see, come down, here's the key, not a problem. Just don't touch it, don't fall down, don't get hurt, don't be stupid. And honestly, it really is that simple. But if this was a government-owned installation or location, this would just have been locked up and nobody would ever be able to visit it. So thank God for this guy. Give him a bit of money. Glad to spend it, glad to spend it. Right next to the machinery. Closest thing I get to see to looks like an officers club. I'm just saying. Well, they put the old club right next to the machinery? How unseemly. Oh, well, there's that though. Mahogany and everything. I don't know if this is the old club. I'm just imagining that it probably is. This looks like officer country. It's only General Cogan who invites me there. Private entrance, no admittance. And now we're out in one of these wonderful hallways. Way down there is where we came in. Here, look at that. Look at that beautiful corner. That cutout right there. That is German World War II engineering. Right there. There's the tunnels that we know and love. Yeah, that's something I recognize from the war. And everything repurposed for NATO. Awesome. As my friend would say, you're one sick moose. I literally find happiness in finding old German tunnels from the war, or at least something in them. Because it's the in them part that's the cool stuff, is what you find inside. And here you really find everything, although it's a different time. It's the same place, but it's a different time. Ooh, what are we here?
After the war, of course, the French wanted to demolish the system. However, the large complex was not destroyed, as a large part of Kinsbach's water supply came from the bunker's deep well.
Wow. So this is the computer bank? I see bricks down. Wow, wow, wow. Look at all of this. That's stuff you don't see much today. Funny thing is, it probably lasts longer than the stuff we're using today. Some things were built more to last than others. And further back you go, the more sturdy the technology, mechanical was, to what we're seeing today. There's a bathroom with a hole in the wall. And here you see when they built this, they built it with a water resistant tarp in between, so water just couldn't seep in here. They thought of everything. stationary there. More of them. This is just so fascinating. This is. Now, what is this? Looks like a little kitchen. Zulu area. Entering. No, not. Some of them locked up for storage, which is fine. I mean, considering everything they're doing to keep this alive. Oh, here's another. Here's the Zulu talk, which, oh, look at this. And that is where the staircase on the other side leads, obviously. A little peephole in the door, see who you're gonna let in. And a pull down screen. Wow. The acoustics in here are so good, I swear. Your thoughts have an echo. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So here, these are fairly new. These are probably some of the latest stuff that was installed in here with those plastic windows. They're very popular in Europe, but they didn't really start coming out until late 80s, perhaps. Very reliable, very sturdy. Massive place. I keep wondering, where did people sleep? Oh.
As part of the expansion of the Ramstein airfield, the Americans took over the facility in 1951. They renovated it and expanded it in the western area by expanding the air condition and heating system. The construction cost was about 1.2 million Deutschmarks. In August 15, 1954, the facility was taken over by the U.S. Air Force and used as a monitoring and control center for Ramstein Airfield, amongst other things. Under the command of the U.S. Air Force Advanced Echelon, the task of around 125 people employed at the time was to combine and evaluate the European air situation using data from various radar stations and to forward this to the associated departments.
I would love to see photos from the wartime use of this place, but from everything I can understand is that the German army, who was here as the war ended, had destroyed everything as they left, so there are apparently none. I find it very hard to believe that there are no photos in any of the archives. I really do. But especially the German archives and construction of these places, manning, I mean, granted they were secret at the time, but doesn't mean that there are no construction plans or other.
At the end of the 1960s and beginning of 70s, the important NATO air defense facility was operated with a staff of around 200 people.
Sloping down a little bit, like you'd always have with the German undergrounds, tunnel systems, slope by a couple of degrees. Oh, here's somebody set up a modern setup to do projections. That's awesome. I'm so glad they're still using this, because this is just amazing. It is amazing that they're still putting this to historical use, sharing and talking about history. And the interesting thing, I don't think we have yet seen half of this. I don't think we have, because I am still B5 Command Center. I think I'm still just in one wing. Check-in hatch. Special access required beyond this point, restricted area. Oh, ooh, this is amazing here. And all of a sudden I can feel in here the echo is reduced. I don't have an echo as such. Walls are muffled. You have bricks in the walls, or these pads you would put in up here to reduce the general muffle, to muffle the sound. I would expect from this setup that this is a resetup of the commander's office, or there we go. I don't even know where to go here. This is so massive. Offline room. Seriously, I've never been in a bunker system that I didn't feel I couldn't just point to the door of ComSec maintenance. If you ask me right now to point to the door, to the exit, not entirely sure I could do that. I have an idea where it is, but this is a room and room and room and hallway and hallway and hallway. You walk around, you do get turned around a little bit. But yeah, I'm not at all where I thought I was. At some point in time, I'm going to have to start backtracking, because I really don't know where I am right now. Now wait a minute. Wait a minute. I know where I am. Wow, I walked around in the gigantic circle. Here's the kitchen again. Holy hell. Holy hell. I got back in the kitchen. How did I do that? Well, let's see what's down here. I am imagining that there's a ladder. I'm imagining that. Okay, I'm going to change my imagination. Water storage. Water storage tanks. Okay. Yeah, this is where the feed. This is where the food was. This is the storage. The meat locker is in here. There's another meat locker. Don't know why they would separate it by a wall. Maintain the temperature, I'm imagining. Oh, makes sense. There would have to be water treatment plant and meat locker. Alright, well that makes sense. Coming back up in the kitchen. But now that I know where I am, I know there's a hallway down here that looked interesting. Wow. behind this door. I know it says water plant, but this looks original, doesn't it? Except for the new color paint. Come on, give me a little more here. Yes. Wow. Okay. Well, here are the water tanks.
In the 1980s, individual areas of responsibility was increasingly relocated to the bunker facility in Rupertsweiler, until finally only a core team operated in this facility. Kinsbach was only fully manned during major maneuvers such as reforger exercises. In 1984, the decommissioning began. The plant had simply become too small. The expansion and renovation costs for its continued use were too high. However, at least some of the telecommunication systems were still in operation until the spring of '84.
And this is where I came from. However, this is not where I went. I turned right into the kitchen and through the hallways past there. However, I came out after circling part of the complex from the other side. Which means if I go this way, and I'll make it left, don't know where I'm going to go, but I think I have a plan. Then here's another wall with a hole in it. That looks like an explosion of bullet holes. The hell happened to this thing? It literally looked like this was an explosion with shrapnel kicking out. The walls weren't really that thick. But what happened to this thing? I don't know. But an explosion took place in here, I think. Well, the Germans did say they demolished all the paperwork. Yeah, look at this door too. There's some dings on that. I think there was a detonation of some sort in there. That looks like one of the old power switches still connected. I just wonder how much they reused. Now, if I came from here, then I have seen everything. Then the general office and the talk is down here, and then we've been through the complex. Don't remember seeing this stuff though. See, that's the fun part about exploring huge underground command centers. And believe me when I tell you, I am going to get into Galen's old tunnels, the ones after the war. So, A4. What was A4 stuff? What did they do there? Electrician's nightmare will be these places. B5 comm center. And down there is probably where I came from. Probably. I really have to pay attention. Now, these walls have a different color. Now I know where we are. I've been through, well, probably been through most of it, which means now you guys can come visit So I'll gladly tell you where this is. Yeah, B5 Comp Center's down there. Yeah. So, alright. Holy shit, this is, and here again you can really feel, you can feel the voices muffled in here for comms, and you see the red, and you see the white sound insulation tiles up here. Very popular in office buildings in the 80s and 90s in Europe. Don't remember ever seeing them in the States, but I'm guessing they're there. Anyway, this is how the old Wehrmacht bunker lives on, or lived on, with NATO. And am I back to this again? Am I really back to where did I come from again? Not the most modern access control, but access control it was. Maintenance account office. Heavy door there. Kitchen storage. Kitchen. Hey, I actually found my way out. Holy hell. Who'd have thought it? This is cool, and there's a lot of these, and we're not done with them yet. See y'all next time.
When the Allies came closer and closer in early 1945, the Wehrmacht gave up the bunker. And with the German thoroughness, all documents and photos of the site were destroyed so they would not fall into enemy hands. In March 1945, General Patton's armored units advanced from the northwest via Landstuhl to Kirchbach. Landstuhl was occupied March 19th and Kirchbach on the same evening.
Behind me is Vanna von Braun's first test stand. Down the road is Dietmar's nuclear reactor. Over there is the Maginot Line and all its amazing forts. I'm visiting them all and I'm bringing them to you. So I really appreciate you like, follow, and share what I'm doing, trying to document all these important historical locations. And if you feel like you want to watch more pictures or documents that I use for these, go to lostbattlefields.com. And if you feel like helping me out with my travels, because gasoline and travel and airfare is expensive, my PayPal is there, protectionserviceint.com. You are more than welcome, but you don't have to. I appreciate all your support and all your help, and I love seeing these locations, and I love bringing them to you.